You know how war always feels like it's happening somewhere else, over there? It's a headline you scroll past, a flash on the TV screen, but its echoes, they travel. Today, we're going to talk about how the tremors of a conflict in West Asia are being felt not on some distant battlefield, but in the quiet, anxious homes of Lucknow, India.
Sometimes the absolute loudest sound of war isn't an explosion at all. It's the silence. The silence that stretches across thousands of miles. That long, hollow ring of a phone that just won't connect. It's the sound of a heart holding its breath, just waiting for a voice. And for so many families, that's their soundtrack right now.
And look, this isn't just one family's story. We're talking about an entire city. Lucknow, a place famous for its culture and history, has become a city that's literally holding its breath. The usual hustle and bustle has been replaced by these hushed, worried whispers.
The scale of this is, well, it's staggering. An estimated 1.25 lakh, that's 125,000 people, from Lucknow alone are currently working or studying in places like Iran, Oman, and the UAE. These are doctors, students, business owners. So this isn't about a few scattered families. A huge piece of the city's own fabric is caught right in the middle of this.
To really get a sense of this anxiety, let's zoom in on one father's story, Maulana Kalbe Jawad. He's a very prominent Shia cleric in Lucknow. And his son? He's thousands of miles away, studying in the holy city of Qom, a city that's now being shaken by conflict.
4 simple words. Thankfully, he is safe. You can just feel the profound relief in that statement, can't you? But right underneath it, you can also feel the raw, lingering terror. It's that feeling of just barely escaping something awful, knowing the danger is still right there.
His son, Kalbi Ahmad, he's been in Qom for 6 years, completely immersed in his studies. It was a peaceful place for him, and then that peace was just shattered when missiles started to fall, shaking the very ground he was standing on. Suddenly, a place of learning becomes a place of fear.
And this anxiety isn't limited to students. Now let's turn to a veteran journalist over in Tehran, where a really serious personal health crisis has collided head-on with the outbreak of a war.
Okay, so get this. Rabish Zaidi has been a reporter in Tehran for 17 years. Just 2 weeks ago, he has a heart attack and has to undergo open-heart surgery. He gets discharged from the hospital, and only 3 days later, the conflict erupts. Now, when he calls his father back in Lucknow, the conversation has this horrifying new soundtrack, the actual crackle of explosions in the background.
His father, back in Lucknow, puts it so simply. The worry has doubled, tripled. Just try to imagine that feeling. Your son has just survived major surgery, and now you can literally hear bombs falling while you're trying to talk to him on the phone. The helplessness must be almost unbearable.
All right, now let's cross the geopolitical divide here, because this fear, it isn't confined to just one side. Over in Israel, thousands of Indian workers are facing a completely different but equally terrifying new reality. They're trading their construction tools for the cold comfort of a concrete shelter. The numbers here really paint a picture. There are about 42,000 Indians in Israel. Zoom in a little, and you find that over 6,000 are from the state of Uttar Pradesh. But then if you drill down even further, you find 16 men from just one single village. All of a sudden, a massive statistic becomes a group of neighbors.
Those 16 men are from a village called Sahab Purwa Mauza. They traveled all the way from the familiar Gangetic Plains to Katsrin, a town right near the Israel-Syria border, all to work on construction projects. It's a huge journey, not just in miles, but in culture, and now in risk.
Think about the rhythm of their lives. One moment, it's the familiar sound of hammers and machinery, the sounds of a normal workday. And the next, that's completely shattered by the piercing wail of an air raid siren. That's your warning, and it means you drop everything and scramble for your life. So, where do they run? Into bunkers. But these aren't just rooms. They're basically survival pods built into every new apartment. The walls are 2 to 3 feet of solid, reinforced concrete. Survival itself has become a standard architectural feature. That just tells you everything about a life lived constantly on the edge. So, in the face of all this chaos, what's being done? Well, for the families waiting anxiously back home, any little piece of information, any official reassurance becomes an absolute lifeline.
And that lifeline often comes in the form of official statements. The Uttar Pradesh Labor Minister, Anil Rajbar, has assured families that they are in constant contact with the embassy and other agencies.
For someone thousands of miles away, those words, "no hiccups reported so far," offer a small anchor in a huge storm of anxiety.
But reassurance can only do so much, right? Back in Lucknow, the long wait continues. As dusk falls, you can just picture it. Families gathered, phones clutched tight. Through the night, the news channels just flicker across these worried faces. And when dawn finally breaks, so many are still wide awake, their sleepless vigil far from over.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. From a cleric's quiet prayer in Lucknow to a laborer's frantic sprint in Katsran, all of these different stories are connected by one fragile, incredibly powerful thread: the fierce pull of family, and the desperate hope that the next call will bring not echoes of war, but just whispers of home. It leaves us with this final thought. When we look at these conflicts on a map, we measure them in miles. But for the families who are living through them, the real distance isn't geographical at all. It's measured in the long, agonizing, deafening silence between one phone call and the next.